going over two-step word problems. We did this in the past. Who can remember with sales tax and cash back? That's in lesson 83. So you want to flip back there if we have trouble. That's breaking it into two different steps. Drawing it out, we drew it out with some examples, but we have practice two-step word problems that involve finding total cost. This was the sales tax and then the change back. So the sales tax, what was the example we had to do there with the sales tax? Did we have to find the sales tax or was it given to us already?
Yes.
Yes, Sammy? It was given to us? So then did we have to add on the sales tax or subtract it from the cash back? Did we have to find our total answer or final answer then minus the sales tax? Yep. So this was an example of a two-step word problem. And another example was a cash back. We didn't know how much money we started with, so we had to dig up information, find information, and then find out how much money we got from the cash back. So starting with this lesson, we will practice other kinds of two-step word problems. Writing down the given information or drawing a picture is often helpful in solving these problems. Why might drawing a picture be helpful to us? Marshall?
Because we can look at the problem and see how to do it.
Yep, it maps out the problem a little bit better for us. We can see it, we can observe it. It's just not words and numbers. We can see it on the board, we can see it better. And this might help other people, but it might not help all the students. So we have to keep in mind that each student is learning different. So we might be visual learners, or we might just write it out, or we might just do it in our head. But this helps us see what we're doing wrong. This helps us start the problem, and it makes it easier on us. So example number one, Landon, do you want to read example number one for me?
Jim is 5 years older than Allie. Allie is 2 years younger than Blanca. Blanca is 9 years old. How old is Jim?
So how do we start this? What can we pull out right away from there? Maddox?
We can pull out that Blanca is 9 years old.
Blanca is 9 years old, so we can start with that. So I'll just draw just a stick figure for now, and this is Blanca. And how old did we say she was? 9 years old. All right, and our next, what can we pull out? What's our next step? Ruby, what is our next step? We'll subtract, or do we need to find out everybody's age first? So how old is Jim? How old does it give how old Jim is, or no? Well, read the first sentence in the problem.
Jim is 5 years older than Allie.
So we can't start with that because we don't know Allie yet. So then the next sentence, Ayana, what's the next sentence? Starting with Allie? Allie, yep, Allie is 2. Oh, right here. So could that be our next step? We know how old Blanca is, right? She's 9 years old. So what would be our next step? Could we draw Allie up here? So we can draw Allie. And how could we map this out? Draw it out. Ayana? 9 minus 2. What does that answer equal? 7? 7 years old? So we could also, this 9, we could just put B minus 2 for Blanca. That might help us too. So we know that Allie's 7 years old, and we know Blanca is 9 years old. So who are we missing? Gauge who we're missing in the word problem. Jim? And what does it say about Jim?
Jim is 5 years older than Allie.
So what do you think we're going to be doing with Jim's age?
We're going to add 5 on the Allie's.
And what gave it away? Why are we adding it?
Because he's 5 years older.
Older? Alright. And this was Jim. And it says Jim is 5 years older than Allie. So how old is Allie? Tammy?
7 years old.
7 years old? 7, what are we adding?
5.
What's my final answer here, Ruby?
There is 12.
12? So then we can reread the problem. Landon, you want to reread the problem for me? Yep.
Jimmy is 5 years old and Allie. Allie is 2 years younger than Blanca. Blanca is 9 years old. How old is Jim?
So do we have our answer? How old is Jim? Logan, how old is Jim?
12.
12? And so was it easier if we mapped it out and drew it up and broke it into different steps? Was it easier for us to see? Yeah, because we saw how old Blanca was, we pulled that out. And then our next step was Allie, we saw how old she was by looking at Blanca's age. And then our last step was what? Finding Jim's age? Alright, so that's an example of just drawing it out or making a picture. So this is easier for us to see, and it's easier for us if we screw up or make a mistake. It's easier for us to go back and check our work. And you want to read number 1 for me?
Simon made 4 stacks of wood blocks. The first stack was 4 blocks tall. Then the second stack was 7 blocks taller than the first. The third stack was 4 blocks shorter than the second stack. And the last stack was 5 blocks taller than the third stack. How many blocks did Simon have? How many blocks did Simon use along?
So how many stacks of wooden blocks were there? Weston?
4.
4, so we can start by doing that. So there's 4 stacks of wooden blocks. So we'll just use these as our stacks right now. So we know there's 4. So the second sentence, you want to read the second sentence, Landon? Or Weston? The first.
The first stack was 4 blocks tall.
Alright, this will be our first stack. So how many blocks tall is it?
4.
So this is 4. So the second stack was what? Maddox. Second stack.
The second stack was 4 blocks,
Nope, the second stack.
was 7 blocks taller than the first.
So what do you think we're gonna be doing? This is our first stack. What are we gonna be doing now? Maddox, what do you think?
Crossing it,
What are we adding on to the 4th?
7.
So this is our second stack. So 7 plus 4, that gives us a total of what?
13.
13? I'm
No,
checking that.
no. 11.
11. So the next sentence reads, Whitney, the third stack was,
The third stack was 4 blocks shorter than the second stack.
so what word gives it away there? Does shorter give it away? So what are we going to be doing then?
We're gonna
What method are we going to be applying here?
line
Subtracting? What are we going to be subtracting? What 2 numbers?
track 11 and 7 and 4.
11 and 4. Why is it 11 though?
Because we have 4 plus
Because there's 11 blocks in this one? Yep. So 11 minus 4 is what? 7 blocks? And the next sentence reads, the last stack, gauge. The comma, yep.
stack was 5 blocks taller than the first.
What word gives it away there?
Taller.
Taller, so what are we going to be doing?
We're going to be adding
What 2 numbers?
5
5
and 7.
and 7, because this is the third block, right? Or third stack. What does that give us? 12. So we have all 4 stacks. What are we gonna be doing with all 4 stacks now? Weston,
Adding them all together.
adding, so our first stack was what?
4.
Our next stack was number 2, how many blocks?
11.
Third stack was how many blocks?
7.
And our last stack, stack number 4 was how many blocks, Christian? 12? 12, 11, 7, and 4. Somebody wanna come on board and do this? Marshall, you wanna do it for me? Show your work, please. What? I didn't finish that wrong. $34 what?
34 blocks.
Yep, where's the blocks go then? Nope, where's the blocks, the label go? Great, good job. How many people got 34 blocks? A lot of you. See what we did here? We had to break it into different steps. We all could have just done it once at a time, could we? So was it easier for us to see the picture? Or did it break it down easier, do you think? Maybe, maybe not. Well, what I do know is we see our work and we see if we didn't mess up, we can see we can go right back to where we messed up, where we made a mistake. So Landon, do you want to start writing number 2 on the board for me? Somebody read the problem aloud to Landon, please. Logan, read number 2.
Starting with got 7 books about animals, 6 books about outer space, and 8 books about trains. Each book costs $11. How much did Charlotte spend on her books?
So what information can we pull out of there, Kennedy?
Each book costs $11.
Each book costs $11. How many animal books were there? Giselle, how many animal books were there?
7.
7? So you see, he has 7 books up here, and 8, what was the 8 books about? Ruby. 8 books about what?
Trains.
And do you think it really matters if it was trains, animals, or outer space?
No.
No? So the numbers matter more than the topic of the book here in this question? Do you agree, Maddox? Yep. So Gage, why is Landon multiplying the numbers by 11?
Because it's
$11 a book? You see what all numbers have in common with multiplying them by 11?
Yeah.
See it? Avery, do you see it? Where's Dustin go? Is there a Dustin? Good job. So you can go write your name on the board, Landon?
I think the opposite.
Oh yeah, you said it was 4 and